fight in the division. The caretaker, who is Johnny Gossett, who died recently, has been taking care of the building for over 50 years. When I went there, he said, brother, this is your building. He died. So some of the members, one who is a trustee who controls the building, kick out some of the other members. And now there's a problem. It's just that it's like we can't get it. But honestly, they are so inspired by our division because of what we have shown them. Even our fees, we're able to give our fees because we don't hold back on our fees. We gave them under $1,329 since we collected it, members pay their dues, so we pass it on. And everybody wants to come to New York.
Excuse me, so that means those who haven't paid, you gotta pay the membership?
Who hasn't paid?
There's some people I'm working with that is gonna help me. Yeah. You know, whoever hasn't paid, put up the money because, you know, we're not keeping it. I mean, we keep what belongs to us, but this is to sustain the parent body. Because if we don't roll funds, they won't be able to coexist.
There's a division in Canada. They own their building in Canada. They have 18 apartments upstairs, and downstairs they have some businesses.
And so they're renting out.
Yeah, the people in Montreal, the people who rent the apartment,
making money.
when they come for an apartment, they have to sign up to be a UNIA member before they can get the apartment.
That's dope.
If you're not a UNIA member, you can't live there.
That's hot.
You can't live there. And what they do, the $56, no, the 46, they send the whole of it to the UNIA. They don't keep back anything because
they're making money.
they have businesses running. Their problem is that most of them are elders and they're not getting a lot of young members. So they're wondering what's gonna happen.
Well, we have, as Black folks, we have some psychological issues with money.
Of course.
Yeah, a lot of us have money, but we just don't give it out. We just keep it. We spend it at Macy's, whatever.
You're right,
We
sister.
do a lot of foolish things with our money.
Excuse me, baby, speak for yourself.
Oh, let's get
I don't have money, so you gotta be careful when you say we have money.
No.
You have money.
What makes you think that?
Well, the way you say it.
Adrian, say no, it's the people who have money always trying to pretend like they don't, right? So that's what I'm saying. Think within yourself. We don't want to force anybody, but think about how many families and how many families. You know, but say no. We actually see Hamas, and people may say this about Hamas, but Hamas was just a regular little group. But you know what happened? They start providing food services, all different types of services to their people. And that's what the UNIA used to provide. But for some reason, we have just become so comfortable, and most of us are not willing to share anymore. You see, but you know, the people then were amazed because when we had the function, the food, I catered the food, and the bill for the food, I came up to about $5,000. And when I look at it, we really didn't make any money. So I never collected payment for it. So everybody was asking me, so when are you gonna take payment? I said, does the UNIA have the money to pay me? But why I was also upset, all those performers you see come to perform, all of them was just hawking the payment. It's like we're not willing to do anything for our race anymore. Someone who is performing.
Let me interrupt. This was my savior, ladies and gentlemen. He and Kwabena weathered the snow to come and liberate me from the depths of Philadelphia. And he was stuck in Chinatown today, and he still made it. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, sorry, President Duncan.
Yeah, so that's where we have to do. But then when I go to a meeting like this,
no,
I just...
Mr. President, you were mentioning the performance.
Yeah.
None of them were doing any pro bono or
everybody
wanted to get paid.
want it for free.
Well, we should, this is what I said at our last event, that we had anybody that could do something for free when we were at the school, whatever, we should do it
Yes,
for free.
you're right. My thing now, but I want to push even harder right now, so we could raise enough money for a down payment on a building. One member had gave him his dues 2 weeks ago up in Harlem, and he said a donation was in it for the building fund. When we opened it, it was $500. Brother,
Doug Walton.
Doug Walton.
All right.
$500 was a donation. But I think right now, anything we can put in, we should just look at it as right now, the building fund. Every month we see what we can collect. Sister Adrian had suggested that each month, whoever can afford it should give $10 a month. It's a good thing because I think we should try and look, say, December this year, how much money we could save, and any amount we have,
That's the PayPal thing, I have to look in there.
yeah, we can just dump it in a building. Buy a building, and maybe from the building, during the daytime, we could run a daycare center. We could do some kind of business to bring in money, because it's the money, people have good intentions, but it's the money that we're lacking. So as I say again, that's gonna be our premier event. I'd like for us to really make some fun from it. It's gonna be the red, black, and green ball, so include some kind of red, black, and green in your attire. And let's do this, but let's do something.
Oh, excuse me, President Duncan, Sister Adrian was thinking the same thing you've been thinking, of getting red, black, and green bow ties. That's what I'm gonna get, sister.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, I can see if Marcus can find someone in Senegal, I'll also make a call to Ghana to see.
Do that for us.
But we have to look at it, get a sample first, to see
Yes.
what it looks like.
Yeah, and I hope if he doesn't get it done when I go to Liberia.
Yeah, somewhere.
Because when I go to Liberia, I'm gonna buy a piece of land down there. I'm gonna buy a piece of farmland, and I'm gonna buy, because you know what happened? Those brothers and sisters, there's a young man in Liberia. He's 28 years old. He lead all the young people. Anybody under 30, he is their leader. As a matter of fact, again, he called me today because he was in Washington, D.C., and he wanted to meet me in Philadelphia. He said, you know, Brother Mike, why I'm calling you? Because George constantly talk about you, you know? And I feel that if you tell him things, he will listen. He said, I'm looking forward to you to come to Liberia. But he said it to me again this morning. If we don't get George elected in 17, he says he's gonna set the young people them back, the indigenous people in Liberia back 30 years. Because he said, it's hard to find good-hearted people. He said the thing is, in Liberia, most of the so-called leaders, they don't have a good heart. And he said George is the only person that they can rely on.
George who?
George Weah.
Who is he?
He's the major senator of Montserrat County.
In Liberia.
Yeah, Forbes magazine just rated him as the 4th most powerful person in Africa.
Nice.
So again,
Fourth most powerful?
Yes.
person
In Africa.
Yeah,
Really?
right.
Fourth most.
4th most. That's what Forbes
Of
magazine.
50 countries in Africa.
Yeah.
Who made that
35
first?
countries in Africa.
Huh?
Who's first?
I would have to look at it. They also, they're the top 10. They had that young brother from South Africa.
Julius Malema.
Yeah, they have him.
Okay.
So I don't remember if he was in the top 4 or on the Georgia. But the thing is that,
Because when you were talking about that young brother that he had in Liberia,
Yeah.
I was saying to myself, is that the Julius Malema?
look here, man. I met that guy said the main reason he wanted to come to America was to meet me. And he said that now he wants me to play that role. And I'm saying, look, all the frontiers them are taken up. The other people are all over the place. They're not in Liberia yet because they can't buy land there.
And,
They cannot buy land there.
and very soon, you know, they might change the constitution or whatever.
Yes, they might change it.
That's the
So
next
what we have to do now, we just have to buy land here because land is not very costly there.
I'm ready.
What's the price?
Sister,
I mean, what's the price? Like, let's say you buy an acre, 10 acres, how much you guys pay?
okay, the farmland They told me you probably can get a 500 acres farmland for $20,000. Or maybe even less.
It's not bad.
500 acre,
Yeah, 500 acres.
$20,000?
Yeah, maybe even less. The gentleman called me the gentleman is from here. He moved back to Liberia. I spoke to him while in Philadelphia. He said he has a 7-acre farm and he's farming. But he said he needs more brothers and sisters here from America to come there and to invest. But look.
Well, you know, we had spoke about going to Ghana,
Yeah.
taking a group of people over on a trip. We should, now we need to go to Liberia.
I like how you think, sister.
It's, you know, educational, it's
Yes.
business, and it's your tour, and we need to head that way, so people can see.
Yeah.
They have to see.
Right, so maybe next year, Sister Adrian, if we could plan that trip, people have, because look, I'm telling you, when I go to Liberia, but then I come back, I'm bringing my deed to show the members here. But anything I do, it's scheduling where a push, even if it's personally, I want to do things personal, I want to do things with the division, I want to do things with the entire UNIA. I told them, but anything we do, a benefit must come to all the UNIA. When we get enough money to put down on a building, guys, if it's a little bit short, I'm willing to go in my pocket and donate a portion of it too. Because as those guys said, it was Mr. Harvey, it was the members them who went in their pockets and bought that building for cash. Just like Marcus Garvey, all the buildings in Harlem, they were able to purchase for cash. Look, we're making much more than those people were making back then, correct? How were they able to do these things?
Commitment.
People who were willing to give. People who believed that they needed the UNIA to provide those services for them, so they had to give. So I'm saying again, but I can't tell you, each time I go to these meetings.
My brother Mike, and Sister Adrian, and all of these from UNIA, who's going to the strategy.
Yeah.
Is it, do we all go and buy a piece of land over Liberia, some buy over Ghana, some over Tanzania, or you say, you know what, let's focus on Liberia. I'm thinking about how the Zionists do it, the focus on peace,
Yes.
Palestine.
Focus on the peace and
then
make
come
it
in.
strong.
Because when it's just scattered over,
Yeah.
you don't make that impact.
Right.
If all of us say from the diaspora, we're going to Liberia, that's where we're going to ultimately.
Yes.
As a
Right
strategy.
now, it might be easy to go to Liberia
Yeah.
or Ghana.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Rather than spreading out.
For all
Spreading
of
out.
us.
Spreading out. Just focus in that area.
So you mean instead of having 11 million members scattered among several thousand organizations, if we could have 11 million members under one banner,
That's right.
we could create more. Okay.
Look, huh? Wait, I'm sorry, go ahead.
A few years ago, I started building a school in Ghana. And when I get there, I'm going to put it under the UNIA.
Good.
Now, I think one of the things we need, when we approach Africa, we have to know that Africa, there will be a United States of Africa. We have to have the intention of preparing and producing the leadership that will lead Africa.
That's right.
We might decide to take a segment in West Africa, Southern Africa, Central Africa, and East Africa. At some point, we're going to have to sit down and strategize. I focus on building a school, and I do believe by the end of this year, it will be complete. But it's not just one school. It should be us, as a government, taking that approach. Because there will come a time when leadership will have to be produced. I remember a few years ago when Namibia had gained victory, the president came to this country and asked for assistance. There was a few brothers who met in Harlem. I can't remember the leadership brother was in charge. And the brothers got together and they were mainly talking about the diamond and other minerals in Namibia. And my approach then to them was that's the wrong approach. The diamond have been in the fields for thousands of years. The main thing is that could we gain the minds of our people so that we could protect the resources that we have in Namibia and probably other parts of Namibia.
So that's exactly